How do you feel about networking with regional parts of the bank when you want to work in New York? Like if I network with like JP Morgan in DC, but I want to go to New York, how does that work?
Really good question. Tricky to answer. It depends on the bank. Some banks are going to look at that really favorably and say, wow, they're really engaging with Lazard, our bank, because they're talking to people in all these different branches. Some banks actually have the converse view. New York is a little tricky because it's like the center of gravity, right? Like if you're recruiting for, let's just say use JP Morgan as an example. If you're recruiting for JP Morgan New York, it's very likely, and this stuff can change. It's typically for the bulge brackets, they run recruiting by location. And so if you're spending a bunch of time networking with Chicago bankers, and that gets back to the New York bankers, they're going to be like, what's this kid doing? Why is he wasting his time? Right? Does he really want to be
Yeah.
in New York? And so it could backfire in that type of environment. Different banks like Baird isn't like that. For example, like the middle market banks tend not to be like that. One of the ways to figure it out is are they competing for talent, right? Are they literally running different processes, totally different processes, and you could get an offer to both? They don't like to compete against themselves. And so just something to keep an eye on. It doesn't mean you don't reach out to a couple people and have a couple conversations. It just means be careful of the optics, because if you're going to do a hard networking campaign and go to Chicago and meet 25 people, why are you doing that? When you're talking to New York bankers, there's got to be something unique drawing you to Chicago, something powerful drawing you to New York. You got to have a story for why.